don't sing if you want to live long. They have no use for your song. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead and out of this world. Now your hope and compassion is gone. You've sold out your dream to the world. Stay dead, stay dead, stay dead. You're dead and out of this world.
Hey guys, welcome back to our last episode of What We Do Before the Shadows, the show dedicated to you guys, the fans. Because why? Because we love you. That's right. I'm your host, Harvey Guillen, and I'm super excited. We just saw the finale. We saw what went down, and we have the one, the only, Jemaine Clement.
Hey, his bat's all over me.
Get him off, get him off, get him off.
How are you?
Good.
How are the people watching?
Oh man, so last night's episode was insane, the finale. I just keep remembering when we shot that, and I looked over at you and I said, how did we get here? And you just something like, yeah, you put yourself in a situation and then you get yourself out of it. So
oh yeah, you're talking story-wise or how we ended up making a show? Either way.
I was talking story-wise, how we got to that finale.
The finale is unusual in the series because it's the only one that I wasn't in the room for writing. You know, it's the only one.
Really?
Yeah. When I got the script, I didn't know what was going to happen. So every other episode, I was involved in the writing of, except for this one, except some general ideas. But so you know, it was all new to me. It's really unusual. And then
know that.
Yeah, good. Well, last year in the first season, we hadn't written the last episode, and we just sort of see which bits played well, and then write it as we were there. And we did that again this time, but while the other writers were writing it, I was directing, so I wasn't part of it. So it was a nice surprise, though. And then I wasn't supposed to be in it. It was going to be someone else, but it was so close to the line they couldn't get anyone into Toronto in time. So they were trying. Right. They wanted someone who'd played a vampire.
Who was it? Who was the person? Do you remember?
Oh, so many people.
So many. I just remember that
Banderas was a real big dream of having him be the MC, and then there was a Skarsgård mentioned, and then we're like, we can't fly them in on time. And then maybe someone in Toronto, and we were trying to get Eugene Levy. And then Kyle, who was directing that episode, eventually just went, man, we don't have anyone to play the MC. Will you do it? I was like, okay. And so the next day, I was learning the lines, standing up on stage.
You were already.
I made a costume. They had my wig and stuff from last year when me, Johnny Bruff, and Taika came on. And they had made this costume that would fit anyone, just a big robe, because they didn't know who it was going to be.
It's kind of funny to think, because, you know, people don't know this, but we shot that episode towards the end of December, closer to the holidays. And so it's tough. It's tough to get someone to fly in to another country to shoot something very last minute. And
yeah, there's visas and all those kind of things sometimes.
Yeah, well, we were lucky that you were there then. And I think it actually played out perfectly because as we saw in the finale, you exit before the massacre happens.
Well, the shit goes down.
Yeah, it all goes down, and which means...
Yeah, well, I said that, like, if I'm doing it, he can't kill me because he was originally going to kill that character.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, you can't kill Antonio Banderas if we get... character from another movie. You can't kill that character.
I mean, no, he couldn't. No, because
no. So you have to change that, and then it ended up being me. So
yeah, because in the finale, you'll see that he does behead one of the vampires when he flies in, and that was supposed to be your character or the character who would be playing, or the actor.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so people don't know that, but at the last minute, that wouldn't have made sense if it was like a killing, and it's like if that no. But you've done like so much. I'm always really impressed and amazed and really happy when I hear your voice or see you in something where halfway through I didn't know it was you. Does that happen to you a lot? Like, I feel like half of the time I'm watching something, I'm like, that guy's really good. Who is that? And I'm like, Jemaine? And like, it's like, like literally takes me a minute. Maybe this is just me, but like, you've done so much stuff. And then even when we look back at this, because guess what, Jemaine? This is your life.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's when I was born, from that cloud.
Yeah.
Rain.
Those are the years
Your
born.
life, an American television tradition.
And
At
it made a
Outback,
seed.
I get the 14
Oh.
ounce ribeye because I am a steak man. Unless I'm eating chicken on the barbie,
Look at the mullet.
then I'm a chicken man.
Did you hate saying that line? Chicken on the Barbie?
It's hard to remember because it was one of the first times I worked in the States, and I just come in that night. Had to go and get my visa, fly in, and then we started at 1 a.m. and filmed to something like 9 a.m.
1 a.m.
Yeah, because it was at a real Outback steakhouse,
Got
and
it.
they had to wait till it had closed.
And you had to, I mean, you didn't really eat the meat because you're pretty.
Yeah, well, you eat it and then you spit it into a bucket. This has been the concentration of my life, is the Outback Steakhouse. All the other things are flying by.
There's all these other projects too that I'm just like, oh, that's right. And it's just like, there's this you.
Oh my God, there's me and my school production.
Yeah. Steve Carell.
Carell's a very lovely man. Gentleman Broncos, indie movie.
Oh, there's you and Taika.
Clean shaven, very skinny because we had food. Yeah, me and Taika doing our comedy show. The comedy show is where this idea was born from.
And Moana, which is great. This is fun too. This is.
Hamming it up. What a terrible actor when I say it like this.
Oh no! And this is one of the best episodes in The Simpsons.
People, places, things.
See, it's like stuff like this when I hear your voice.
I'm not saying anything about it, just saying that. Oh yeah, right.
Legion.
Yeah, well sometimes, I'm asked to just do my voice, and sometimes put on a voice like in the where they wanted everyone to do.
Oh, so these are all your moves, right? This is all you.
These are improvised moves mostly, yeah. Spit up, obviously.
There's the gang,
It's the film.
and this is the show.
This is us from last period. Men in Black 3.
And there you go.
Oh, went by.
There's so much stuff. Like, but I'm kind of well, there's one thing that we didn't show, but people don't know this, but we were asked to be ambassadors for the sunglass company in northern Alaska. And
Oh, okay.
and this is a commercial that we did. I don't think people have seen this yet, but this is a commercial. Can we roll that? Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is what I feel when we're together. Wearing sunglasses makes you cooler than everyone else. So put your favorite pair of glasses on. We're the coolest guys. And that I don't
That's
know
right.
if
It was a big campaign.
it was a huge
big
campaign. It
with
was
digital
only
sunglasses.
yeah, sunshine.
You can't wear them in real life. You only wear them on your computer.
Yeah, and also that it only played in Alaska and Norway, which is weird because you don't really need glasses there. But
they're
they were,
digital sunglasses. That's the only time they get to wear them.
yeah, I still think they should cross over and they should show them, here in California. I don't know why they don't show that commercial. But you've also,
That'd be
been
huge here.
it'd be huge. I'm just waiting.
I was looking through my stuff the other day because everyone's on lockdown, so tidied all the stuff. Doesn't look that tidy, but this is the office. This is the office where the show was born. This is where I wrote the pilot. On that desk,
Really?
my standing desk. Yeah,
You
this is
side
where the-
here.
this is like the Obgina ward. This is the birthplace of the show.
You're
found
standing
some of
in the birthplace of the show.
This is the historical birthplace of the show.
You're sitting in the show's placenta right now.
That's right. The placental
But you've
juices
also
are
been
still surrounding me.
You've been an inspiration to other artists as well. People don't know this, but you were the inspiration, and this is the original. Can we show the original inspiration that inspired a Rolling Stone cover? And then it inspired Britney Spears.
A lot of these things I don't remember doing.
Yeah, you're like ahead of your time because look at you inspired her, but also we have we have some friends in high places, and we were able to get a sneak peek at the new Avatar poster, and
Oh yeah,
that. So let's show that, which I think is great. I think that costume looks different though. How was that uncomfortable?
I lost too much weight for that role.
You've always been committed. That's something I've always said, that I always feel like you're so committed. But I don't know how that goes with the Avatar world. I don't know what storyline James is taking this time, but like
he keeps a lot of it under his hand. The secret you don't find out till you watch the movie. I don't know what I'm doing. I just stood there in a green suit with my hand behind my back, and all that was put in. You don't know that that's not my actual body.
I couldn't tell. Like watching the poster, I was like, that's him. So yeah. What can you tell us now that the finale has happened? What is gonna happen now? Like season 3 is gonna be filmed hopefully soon, but like the fans are left with this cliffhanger. How did you guys come up with that cliffhanger? Like I know you say you were.
Well, as I said, yeah, that's the one. It's the one episode I can't comment on. I didn't.
But were you happy with the finale when you saw it?
Yeah. Well, what was fun for me, because I've been such a part of every other one, was seeing what will happen if other people come up with it. That was genuinely fun. Season 3 put a few ideas in, but sometimes you have an idea in one season and then it gets moved to the next season and it doesn't end up in that, and it gets moved along. So there's some things like that. I've put some ideas in. We'll see what happens.
Bucket of ideas. That's what I imagine.
Yeah.
You just have
it's all lists. It's all lists when you write these things.
I mean, I
found a list. I found a list of. I didn't bring it. I found a list of the ideas from season 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from last season, and I was going to show you. Shall I pause it? How do I stop the show?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have to go right upstairs.
Oh, that's fine.
All right, I'll see you soon.
All right.
Play a clip. Play the sunglasses head.
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is what I feel when we're together. Wearing sunglasses makes you cooler than everyone else. So put your favorite pair of glasses on. We're the coolest guys. If you can't tell, that was me singing because we didn't have the copyrights to that song. But it sounds.
I also found a bunch of cards that had, things from the pilot that didn't end up in it.
Like actual ideas, or that we shot and like didn't.
Things like, here's one. Your character's name was called Adrian at one point. Adrian goes to Warhammer, which ended up being the LARPing group. Meets another familiar with her vampire who are at the Warhammer. Those characters didn't make it in. Things like that. Here's some vampire names which didn't end up in. I met a guy, an acupuncturist once. People called the Baron, but it's because his last name was Baron, so that ended up being the Baron.
Oh.
So there it is, the Baron, that you'd find out that was
an acupuncturist. It was
actually his last name, but we changed it in the end to him being Baron. Caligulus Leech, I think, was Matt Berry's character's name at one point.
Caligulus?
Caligulus Leech was one. Serban was another one for him. I think.
What about Naja? Was Naja?
Some of these notes, I don't know what they are, but I think Naja's name was Linda at one point, and she called herself Linda the bitch. Obviously not a good idea. Not a good idea.
I don't know. I
Baron
think
Lenovo was another name for the Baron. Lenovo's my computer.
Lenovo.
That's when you've spent too much time at the computer, when you've named a character after your computer. Naja and Serban, yeah, that was Laszlo's other name.
Serban.
Both want to attend the orgy. That's from the pilot, which used to be that the Baron was turning up, but they've been invited to the orgy, so they can't go to the orgy, and they're trying to figure out how to get to the orgy. But the orgy became a separate episode later.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of these became their own thing later. Like we still met familiars. Yeah, because we had the familiar hangout during the nightclub.
That's right.
We had that in season 1.
Some things even came from the movie, and ideas that we didn't get into the movie, we tried out in this.
I know. We just had Paul, and I told him there should be a world where Guillermo is like full blown into a Mexican novela, where he has like a twin brother named Gerardo and Guillermo.
Let's see. Is that played by Harvey? Yeah.
Twin brother. I mean, it could be me or it could be someone. But it's like the total opposite. You never know. But we have tons of questions from our friends at Reddit who love the show over at Reddit, and they had tons of questions for you. So I want to ask a couple. And
let's hear them.
Let's get them. This one comes from Buzzbot235, and they say, if werewolf piss...
That's an actual robot?
That's a robot, yeah. It's a bot. If werewolf piss...
These internet bots are getting so advanced, but carry on with the question. I won't stop interrupting.
What's weird, because part of the question says, type in the following 3 numbers, and I have to do that.
Okay.
Here we go. If, press. If werewolf piss smells awful, what does vampire pee smell like?
Interesting question, Buzzbot. I don't remember your number. There's a question whether vampires need to excrete any waste at all, as they only drink blood. So we've left that open, and we've left that to your imagination. We don't think they really poo, which is why they always use that as an excuse that they're doing a two or a human poo when they're being interrupted by humans, because they know that's something, they remember that's something humans do, but they don't do it.
Right, that's true. I mean, they did.
Urination.
Copper. It would smell like copper because blood.
Yeah, could do. High in iron.
Okay, there you go, Buzzbot.
No, don't ask me. It's a subject that comes up in the writers' room sometimes, and we've always talked ourselves out of exploring it further.
For now, yeah, that's a good idea.
For now. For now.
This one comes from Garlic Mayo Fries. Clearly not a bot, but garlic mayo fries sound really good. How much about the character was decided before casting the show, and how much of the character came from the cast themselves?
That's a tricky question, because with all of the people we cast, I feel like that's the character I write. You know, they've nailed it. But then later on, they add things, and you find things that you like watching those actors do. So you head towards those. Matt Berry, I had always intended him to be in the show. I was hoping he would do it. And then everyone else was a new discovery for me. But, you know, it's a mixture. So in the pilot, it's mostly as it is in the script. And, but we did do a lot of improv. And then, you know, yeah, we just head towards those things. At first, it just starts off as a name, and then you know, it's a really hard one to answer. It's a hard one to answer.
I feel like we get our first season, like, you know, you get to like fall into the character, and you know who these you know, characters are. So it's kind of like by season 1, I felt like we were really in a nice groove. Like the pilot you shoot, and we shoot the pilot in like a week, and you just met these people, but you have to make it feel like you've lived in a household, at least for my character, for a decade, and especially with the
and for the others, 100 something
in
years.
hundreds of years. Yeah. And it has to feel that, like it has to feel that way. So I think it comes down to like finding that nice blend of like where the words themselves give you that like road, and then you find that, oh, they're meshing so well, and like it's like we can do a little bit of improv here and there.
And we every actor we got to improvise in their auditions, and just to see how that would go, and everyone we cast was very good at that. And that's a big part of the show, improv, just to go off the script sometimes. We need the script, but just to have the feeling of that dynamic sometimes feels a little more real, or sometimes more weird, because the actor will go in a weirder place than you would think of in an office, perhaps, or there's things you see around that we didn't see in the office. The movie that it's based on was a big experiment in how much we could improvise. We had a script, but we didn't show the actors the script at all, and almost all the dialogue is improvised. But me and Taika, we could see what we'd written down as our lines, and we could throw them in if we wanted, and we could give people lines if we thought they were really funny. But this, we have to make it realistic to film. With the movie, we had 150 hours footage, which we had to get down to 89 minutes, or was what our maximum length was.
Had Yana on, and she was talking about how you guys have worked on a lot of projects.
Yeah.
Many hundreds of hours of footage was there for the movie? Because you have to like make the movie, feel like with the show, we get to go somewhere every week, and you have the freedom of like, we have 10 episodes a season to like play up. But with the movie, it's like you need to condense it down to 80 minutes.
Yeah, well, the good thing about a TV show is it's easier to hold people's attention for 21 minutes than it is for 90 minutes. But a tough thing is you can't just have all that footage and edit it down. You just wouldn't have time. So we just find moments where we can go into those improvs. And
is that tough? I'm sure there's so much footage that you wish you could use in the film, but there's always that moment of like how do you make that,
Yeah, and different people like different things as well. It comes up a lot. I'm always slipping things back. Troy's trying to get things back.
Yeah, there's no way we can make a whole episode with everything we shoot. There's just no way. There's so much. No. I'm waiting for
these things are this length for a reason. It's very tried and tested. Sitcoms, half an hour. And, that's we write about half an hour's worth of story. Sometimes less, maybe.
But it somehow always goes over. Like even if you wrote a show that was only 15, 20 minutes, like with the improvise that I feel like we do, there's so much meat, in these bones that like you're like, oh, we have tons of stuff we could play with.
Yeah. There's big chunks in the episode last week. This huge scene that's almost all improv, where Nadja finds out that Lilith's disguised herself as Nadja, but it doesn't actually look like her, and she's checking with everyone what they think. That's all improv, though. But it is a great idea from the writer of that episode, William Meaney, came up with that idea. But what's great about that idea is there's so much drama in it. It's such a big conflict that everyone's got something to play in it, and so they extrapolated that from the scene that he wrote. That's when it works best. If it's dramatic anyway, so the writer's job is to find something that has a point of conflict in it, whether it's huge or tiny.
I think that's smart. I think you said this, that when it's easier to write a comedy when it's a serious matter, right? And like when it's
that's what's fun about this show, is that there's life and death all the time.
Yeah.
But then there are also these people who haven't grown up for hundreds of years, so They're
Right.
not getting over their crap that they've had in their life.
Right.
So it goes from the tiny to the extreme. So that's why this show's quite fun to write.
It's true. All right, here's another question. This one comes out from Reddit, and it's from Kim Kardashian. So Kim Kardashian.
I've almost heard of her.
Yeah. So she
Is
sounds.
she married to Kanye West?
Yeah, I think
I've
so.
heard of her.
I think, let me look it up, but I think they are, and they're a hot Reddit couple. So this is from them. And their question is, what inspired you to bring the Shadows universe to focus on a completely new set of vampires for the TV show and the location? Was Staten Island a specific place you had in mind, or did you consider the drab cities before settling on the Forgotten Bureau?
The Forgotten Borough. I've
Yeah.
never heard it called that. A different set of characters. Well, I thought, the film has its dedicated fans, and they were dubious anyway that there could be an American version. And so I thought I didn't want to put a new cast into our characters. And when we were filming the film, we had said, well, this could be like Housewives of. So you have Vampires of Wellington, you could have Vampires of New Jersey. So that idea was already around, that you could franchise, and this is the second part of the franchise property.
The real vampires of Staten Island.
Yeah, and I was acting in a film called Humor Me, which we filmed a lot in Staten Island, and I it had a lot of mentions that were very old, and they felt like they didn't always seem very cared for. You could imagine that a very dilapidated one would fit in there without people noticing much. There's parts of Staten Island which are quite old. And Paul and I were both keen to work in New York, which ironically we film in Toronto, as you know. We talked a lot of places. One was Pennsylvania, because it sounded like Transylvania, which became a joke in the Jackie Toner episode. Still use those things.
See, there's no the idea or joke that goes away, I feel like, forever. Like, I feel like if it wasn't used in the pilot, or it was used it'll find its way into the world if it's funny.
Yeah, if it's good, it sticks around, and it might fall in again.
All right.
Things like the idea that their neighbor they have an older neighbor that recognizes them, ended up in an episode this season, but it's an idea from the first season, and I found the other part of that story here. Guillermo unwittingly stumbles upon a vampire killer group. They've never killed a vampire or even seen one, and they're it's finding these ideas that fit together.
And that was from season 1 idea?
No, this is this list of ideas that I wrote for season 2. Some of them are very undeveloped, but I brought them to the writers, and then together as a group, fill them out.
I love that. I feel like that's kind of how you would write a movie, like if you just sat down and just think about where you want to go from A to B and C. But with a show, is that difficult? Because for the most part, every episode kind of wraps up, with the adventures of the vampires, with the exception of Guillermo's human life storyline, because that's, linear, and it continues from a little bit to each episode because it's a good drama dilemma. But with the vampires,
also in a way, the vampires don't change,
right,
because they inherently have stayed the same. That's part of being a vampire. They've stayed the same for a long time. And Guillermo's human, and he has different stakes. He can, he's mortal, and he wants more.
He's mortal and he wants more.
He's mortal, so vampires
want a
are
shirt
often
that says
called
that.
immortal, but they're very vulnerable vampires.
Right.
It's quite easy to kill them, as you know.
As after this episode, which was fun to shoot.
That must be our highest body count.
That is a lot of vampires. The whole theater, by the end of the
Some
episode.
got away.
What? Except one got away.
one or two.
Two got away, which is very smart because that makes the stakes even higher, I think, because now there's someone out there who knows the truth, and now the household knows the truth, and so now we're left.
This is a new idea for season 3.
Save it. Save the idea. Write it down. Take it to the writer's room. Okay, this is another question, and this one comes from Fugacious Lee. Fugacious Lee. That's
some great names.
That's a name. That's a great name.
Impressed with these people's parents.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Lee.
What do you want to name it? We're gonna name
Fugacious.
it Fugacious Lee.
Beautiful. But what will be its handle?
Shh, let's not worry about that now, darling. Let's just look at our precious Fugacious Lee.
Let him or her decide.
Let's them decide. Let's them decide. They ask, there has been some great guest stars so far. Mark Hamill was amazing. Who would you be most excited to have on the show?
I mean, 2 years in a row, we've tried to get Antonio Banderas.
That'd be amazing.
That's our dream. That's the dream. We have a with Mark Hamill, he had tweeted about the show, so we thought there was a good chance, but we still didn't really think he would do it, and we were all amazed. And I don't know if you remember the excitement when he was about to arrive. We'd seen what his costume looked like and stuff like that, and what his wig was going to be, because it's on the little wig stand in the makeup trailer. And then everyone's excited. There's more people around than usual, waiting for him to turn up on that lawn. I didn't direct that episode, but I was there in my role as producer. And
it was cold. It was winter, and it was really cold,
and it was freezing cold. He had to go in that little watery hole.
Oh, the pond in the backyard.
I told him, "You won't have to go in it. We'll make sure. and then
that's when you said, "Hey, you get in the pond."
Well, he had a stunt double who looked like him, and I remember when the stunt double arrived, people were like, "Hey, so pleased to meet you," and then they realized, like, it's not him. It's like, you're doing the stunts.
I remember.
What's your name? Yeah.
I remember that because I did the same thing because I was so excited, and
everyone did it. They did such a good job, and that
such a good job.
Double was a great double. Like,
I remember being with Kayvon, and Kevin was like, "Oh man, I'm nervous. I'm so excited." And I was like, "He's right there. Go say hi to him." And he's like, "No, I'm not gonna say." He's like, "No, say hi." I literally went up to the stunt double and tapped him. And was like, "Hi," I just introduced myself.
By the way, audience, it's very dark as well.
It's very dark. I want to point out it's very dark. We're outside. It's cold. It's a little bit of snow falling. So, your vision's all over the place. And I introduced myself to the stunt double, and I said, Kayvon is a big fan. Come over.
He's like, "Oh, yeah?"
He was like, "Oh, yeah. I'll say hi. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah." See
and
I swear.
And I think it was Natasha who was like, "You fucking idiot. That's the stunt double."
Well, I usually introduce myself to the stunt guys anyway, because I love talking to them, because they've always got the best stories of injuries, and they're risking themselves for the show. But I had to quickly change tack. Don't mention Star Wars. Different person.
We got our stunt coordinator Tig in the episode with when he's being attacked by Matt's character. Remember when he's?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's Mr. Jogger Man.
He's Mr. Jogger Man. Well, come on, Eileen, please, in the background.
That's right.
Yeah, so we tried to throw little Easter eggs.
The stunt guys on the show are amazing.
They're amazing. I got to work with them this season, and it's literally.
Oh yeah, you did some stunts.
Yeah, and it was like full on.
I just banged my head on the wall, so that's my stunt. But I was wearing this.
Oh no, that's blood. Jemaine, you're bleeding.
It's fine. Keep going. Keep rolling.
How many fingers?
Keep rolling. I'm a pro.
No,
No, I can do it.
just
can
look
do
at my
it.
fingers. How many?
Usually
fingers?
I would have someone else do that for me. With change
Usually
angles.
You'd have Mark Hamill do it and come over and do the stunt.
Yeah.
No, we got to do some stunts this season, which I loved, and it's fun. I actually like doing the stunts. At first, they were like, "You sure you're okay with jumping out the window?" And I was like, "I think it's fun as long as it's safe." And it's like, you know,
It
it's
is fun, but you can mess yourself up doing stunts.
That's true. And I remember that, you know, they were really like only if it's like doable, which was we did it. I think we did like the majority of them, which the hard ones that were like jumping off and rolling down stairs and, you know, falling down, which we did end up using. There was like a scene there, like you made me do audio, remember, for when he bounces off the stairs, like when he falls. So, okay, now we're gonna record you going ow, 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 ow.
Yeah, that's right. I was hitting your back to get that.
Yeah, you were hitting my back. And, and we ended up using it. I don't think we ended up using it in the fall. It was just like a fall, like
No.
But that was funny because we had, while he was doing it, we played back, and then I was watching the monitor, and you're behind me and going, ready?
That's right. Yeah, I don't know if we even tried that. I forgot we'd done it.
Yeah, well, we have it. It lives somewhere, which is great.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another question. This one comes from Plaint Chant. Plaint Chant. That's another name. There you go. I want that on my driver's license. Plaint Chant,
How do you
please.
spell
Plaintchant. Plaint Chant.
it? I'm going to name my next child that.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. This is where it's all coming from. And they ask, we have vampires.
And I'm choosing the mother from Reddit. It's going to be the 20th question asked is going to be the mother of Plaint Chant.
Thank you for talking to all my children. I am the mother of Reddit.
Surprise.
Well, they asked, we have vampires, including energy vampires, werewolves, reincarnated mortals, necromancers, zombie, familiars, human and cat, slayers, babadooks, witches, and Clareton Ladybug's volleyball squad. What type of other creatures are we?
Mention ghosts.
They didn't mention ghosts, which means they're not even a fan. They don't even know the show.
Not answering.
We're not answering.
You know, one that comes up sometimes is a Frankenstein's monster kind of character, but I'm not sure how to do that. What else? I don't know. They're the main ones. Yeah, I think those are all the ones.
I mean, there's more out there. I was thinking about this the other day. There's fairies and mermaids, and there's that world.
Yeah. There was the werewolf episode from season 1 had a golem. You know, the clay men from Jewish mythology.
Mm-hmm. Now a lot of people might not know
and
this.
And it had the Jersey Devil, but we saved a bit of money and deleted those.
We saved some.
They were, it was a bit expensive. There was a very, each werewolf suit for a start is really expensive, and originally all of that gang all turned into werewolves.
There goes the whole budget. We only have 2 minutes.
That's right. Each one.
Well,
each one would cost our budget, but then it had the Jersey Devil who'd come along and the Golem.
A big part of the troll budget was the troll. Now, people may not know this, but who voiced that troll?
Antonio Banderas.
Thank you. Thank you for finally putting those rumors to rest. People
it's
were
a strange
asking,
accent he's doing. I don't know where he's supposed to be from.
I don't know what that is. I don't it sounds cool. Yeah, so people have been asking about the troll, but thank you for clearing that up. And now we
okay. Yeah, that's me. That's me.
That was you.
Yeah,
people don't know that. People really don't know that. They've been asking though on social media.
Oh, they know. I guess some people don't know my voice.
No, because it's not like you're specific. They still did like a muffle, like troll sound.
Oh yeah, they drop it an octave.
Yeah, so it's like
I'm trying to do an accent, which I was trying to go for something, like Icelandic, but it sounds like Israeli.
Well, now we know.
But the intention was to replace it, but we just didn't do it. People
You just
convinced
kept
me
it.
to
You're
leave
like, just keep what I already said.
Yeah. I had I was hoping. I had a friend from Iceland who I was hoping would come and revoice it, but we ended up just leaving it. Again, save some money. But part of that I film, so I wear this big harness that has a pole with a tennis ball on the top, which Mark had to look at. Part of the reason we didn't replace it is because when Mark and I were arguing with each other, we were talking over each other, which is really hard to replace.
Right. And
So
to make the scene work out. Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, that makes sense.
because we'd have to like pull that voice out, except Mark's voices at the same time, which usually you don't do on shows. You don't overlap but on this show we do because of the trying to keep it more alive.
Right. There you go. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Now, this one comes from Midnight Electric. These names, Midnight Electric. I feel like that's like a superhero name or a disco, like
70s disco superhero.
Yeah. That's like a 70s disco
on
superhero.
roller skates.
Yeah.
With lightning bolts.
Help us
at midnight. For 1 minute, they become Midnight Electric.
1 minute at 11:59.
Yeah. So 12:01.
That's perfect. Okay, this question is, I think the concept for the opening title sequence for the film and series is extremely successful. The imagery is so clever and so hilarious, and Norma Tanega's You're Dead is such a magical part of it. I've been wondering how that came about. Did someone know of the song beforehand and cried out, oh, I know the perfect song for this? Did someone discover the song as a part of the process? How did it all come together? It's one of my favorite title sequences of all time, and I would love the backstory.
I'm so flattered. That came from the film. We used that song in the film. We had 3 editors in the film. Yana Gorskaya, who you met, who also directed some of the episodes this year, was one with them. John O. Woodford Robinson, and another guy called Tom Eagles. And Tom had made this really useful thing, just a folder of music that's related, and we used a lot of it. So he'd put Balkan music, music from Eastern Europe. He'd put anything to do with the subject of death or vampires, made this huge bin. And then, one day on a break while we're having lunch, we just listened to all the tracks he'd put in there, and we found that one. We loved it. And the track came first before the idea of showing the history with the photos. But we were saying we have to get the song in. What will we show while the song's playing? Could be in credits. And then we thought maybe, then we had the idea of showing them through time to the song. And Norma passed away not long ago, sadly. I was hoping I would get to meet her, and thank her. I'm a big fan of her music. But
I was thinking we could have brought her to the premiere or something, because she lived I'm in LA, but she lived not too far from here. She lived in Claremont, which is not too far from LA.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even realize that. I don't know where Claremont is.
Yeah, so Claremont is like a 45-minute drive from LA, so not terribly far. And I was like, oh, super excited to hear that, she was kind of local. And then unfortunately, she passed away. And I just got her album on vinyl. Like I just got it.
Yeah. Well, that was one cool thing that came from the show is they reissued that album.
And it's out. Like it's already sold out. It's like literally was so hard to get.
That's like great.
And the vinyl is in the style, and it's green in the style of the show, the color palette of the show.
Oh, yeah, so right. Well, I'm glad she got to see that happen. She'd become a visual artist and wasn't doing music so much, I understand.
Yeah, it was so cool. Still one of my favorites. I sing it every week, even though, season 2.
Yeah, I've never got, when we first discovered it, I would just put it on loop. As we were trying to think of what can go with this song, I'd just have it on loop, listening to it over and over again.
It's catchy.
6 years later. Still hearing it all the time.
Still singing it.
Boom, 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 boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom, boom, boom, boom. You can sing it all day. I love it. Okay, so now we're going to play a game here on the show that we call Zoom, Zoom, Zoomed In, Zoom, Zoom, Zoomed In. So we're going to actually show
It has its own theme song.
yeah, which I sing because we can't get the copyrights to any songs. That's okay, though. That's fine. So Zoom, Zoom, Zoomed In. We're going to show a still from a project that you've done, and we're going to zoom into it close to something in that still, and hopefully you can tell what it's from. All right, you ready to play?
I'm ready.
All right, let's show the first one, please. You can always ask for a hint as well. We can give you one hint for each one of these.
Wow, that's like one of my skin cells.
Mm-hmm. So what project
Really
is it
close.
from?
That's a microscope shot of one of my skin cells from a school show I did in 6th form.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right, let's zoom
I have
out,
no
please.
idea what that is. It looks like an Easter egg.
It's from Moana.
Ah, you know what? I thought it might be that.
You thought it was that? Yeah, it
I
was your
wish
back.
I'd gone for that, not the school show.
Not
Okay.
the- Close. Close.
Okay, I get the idea of this.
Zoom, zoom,
Now-
zoom, zoom.
Now you see
zoom,
that
zoom.
the reason Tamatoa has the gap in his teeth is because of this. They're imitating that.
Oh my God, is that why?
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. I didn't know
Making
that.
it look a little like me.
Oh my God, I didn't even like put that together. That's
Well, I don't
great.
think crabs have teeth.
Well, in Moana they do, so that's what matters. All right, here's the next one. Let's see if you can get this next one.
Okay.
Where is this from? Zoom, zoom, zoom,
I'm
zoom.
gonna guess this is from What We Do in the Shadows, the movie.
Correct. Dun, dun,
Very
dun,
Amanda
dun,
Muir fabric.
dun, 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 dun. There you
Oh
are.
yeah. I have one of those paintings, not that one, upstairs.
You do? Really?
Yeah.
There's so much fan
It
art.
freaks out people when they come to stay. It's in our spare room. When people stay
it in the
here,
guest
there's this
room?
big, yeah, there's this portrait
Right
of
over
me.
the bed? Is it right over the bed?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That'll stop people
Sleeping at
messing
night,
around
looking
and messing
up.
up the sheets.
You coming in? Good night. Lights out.
I'm watching you.
I'm watching you. That sounds terrifying. I love it. I would love to stay over, and I'm going to do that. Okay, here's the next
Okay,
one.
yeah, come over.
Now, you might know this one.
I think this is Flight of the Conchords.
Correct. Zoom, zoom, zoom out. That's your shirt.
Costume designer, Rahel Afili. You put that together. That's my shirt, yeah.
How about this one?
Again, a giant head. Oh,
That's another skin cell.
yeah. I don't know. Can we go out a little bit?
Just a little bit?
Yeah, is that possible?
Yeah. Let's give you a hint. Well, it's animated.
I don't know still.
How about that?
What is it?
A little bit more?
I don't know. Yeah. I still don't know.
A little bit more?
Oh, okay. Well, The Simpsons.
Yeah.
That's Brett's body.
Beach Pod by Simpsons. All right, here's the last one.
That must be from the song.
Yeah, from when you guys are at camp.
Mm.
How about this one?
Oh, this is from Gentleman Broncos. This is one of my sculptures.
Is it?
It is. The art department on that film did a lot of slightly insulting artwork of my
We
face,
were also
playing a very narcissistic character who just keeps putting himself into everything.
we were also going to do a Zoom with
But
just.
I used to find that insulting, that sculpture, when we were doing that. But
Oh,
now I
really?
think he's pretty. Yeah, I think he's pretty good looking. That guy.
I think it's pretty cool.
Change. I'm flattered now.
We were also going to do a Zoom game, but just zoom into scenes where you're shirtless because there was tons of them. But then it would have been even harder.
There's more coming up too.
there's just tons of them. We were just like, he's not going to guess the project if we just zoom in to his chest from every project he's shirtless.
Yeah.
Which would have been a good game, though. It would have been great.
You know, it's a funny thing. Once you start doing that, people just ask you to do it all the time. And I remember having a conversation with some other actors saying they've never been shirtless, and I was like, "What? They always make me do that."
I keep
thought
asking.
Everyone had to do that.
I keep asking to be shirtless, and they keep telling me that's okay. We don't need and which is weird because I always go
turn up like that.
I'm like, should I be shirtless? And they're like, no, you're good.
Shirt or no shirt character.
Should I be shirtless for this? And it's like, no.
Well, you're a doctor in surgery. I think you should probably have a shirt.
I don't know. I think it frees you as a doctor to just be free, you know? They keep asking to not do it. I shot this movie where we were shooting outside in the snow, and it was like, we're all bundled up because we're freezing to death. And I was just like, I think he'd be shirtless.
Shirtless? Yeah.
I don't understand it, but whatever. That's creative differences. Well,
I know. I mean, I would understand if I had abs. Then I go, okay, well, I've worked on this. This is why I'm shirtless.
This is what you want. This is what you get.
Yeah, I've made this for you, but I have not done that.
Right, and that's how I would take my shirt off.
You and I have not chosen to go the ab way. That's the obvious one.
We're not going to be the common. You know, it's like, no, we're going the opposite direction.
Yeah.
It get interesting.
Everyone's doing that.
Everyone's doing that. No, I want to see real bodies, all right?
There it is.
Well,
you'll notice that the belt is above the belly button, which was that was a choice by the director, Jared Hess.
They were just like, bring it up. Just bring up the belt.
Keep going up.
Originally, it was under your chest, and they said we can afford to bring it up.
Oh, you've seen the making of.
Yeah, I saw the making of. I've been down this road. Well, you did get most of the answers right, so let's show him what he's won. You win a trip to Forks, Washington for a Twilight tour. That's right, a Vampire Twilight tour. Terms and conditions apply. Travel not included. Must be redeemed by June 14, 2020.
Travel not included. I live in New Zealand.
Ooh.
So that's near Seattle, huh?
Yeah, you'll get the Twilight tour in Forks, Washington. That's where they filmed the movie.
Wait a minute. If I turn up there, will they know what I'm talking about? If I say, I've won this, or will they go, no, there's no such thing?
Well, you got to get there in a couple of days, but yeah,
okay. Well, you know, my country's in lockdown. We're not allowed to leave the country.
I mean, this sounds like...
No, you know that.
No, we just give the gift, and if you can, claim it.
Okay.
But like...
Maybe there's some way I can get out.
The gift is yours if you go get it,
Yes,
but if you can't leave, that's on you. Like, that's fine. I'd rather you...
I might be able to make a raft.
No, you know what? Don't just... It's not, just don't. Like, it's like the gift... It's the gift that gifts on giving. You can go to Forks another time, just...
It's a thought that counts.
It's a thought that counts, but but before we go, is there anything you want?
If I had gotten the Moana one, would I have gotten the travel as well?
Unfortunately, you would have. Yeah, you would have gone.
Damn it!
I know. I'm sorry, but hold on. Yeah, no, the producers are saying that no, it's not. It wouldn't work out.
Not
but
gonna happen. Okay.
Yeah, but we can give you. Hold on. We can send you.
I don't have anyone on mine, but
we can send you a fork from Forks, Washington. If you want to redeem that instead.
I would like that.
So it's a fork from Forks, Washington, which is cool.
That's perfect.
Okay. So I'm going to scratch this trip. You're not going to take this to Forks, Washington. We're just going to give that to someone else. It's fine. And we'll send you a fork.
Looking forward to that.
Great. Okay. Well, fantastic. There you go. Well, here on the show, we like to give out fan shout outs every week or every day we do the show. And today's our last one. And we're going to give this shout out to Eat, Sleep, Draw. And it's by Asher.
Wow.
Bing. Look at this.
That's amazing.
So good job, Asher.
Look at the texture of that hair.
You should have that in your guest room as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Just theme the whole room.
All over the room, just that same pose over and over. Everywhere.
That's really good.
Well, good job, you guys. That was our last fan art for this season, but you can see all the fan art and all the episodes on beforetheshadows.com because all the episodes are up there. So before we go, Jemaine, is there anything you want to tell the fans who we did the show for during these crazy times?
Just thank you for watching, and glad you're enjoying it.
Well, there you go. Well, until next time, guys, take care of yourself. And if you don't do it for yourself, do it for someone you love. Bye.
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is what I feel when we're together. Wearing sunglasses makes you cooler than everyone else. So put your favorite pair of glasses on. We're the coolest guys.
It's an ambitious one.
Yeah,
You
I'm
think
really
you
trying
pulled
to-
it off.
I try to land on it and not reach for it. That was my goal. Like I
That's
wasn't.
right. That's good
Um,
advice.
so, yeah, just so that's what I was landing on. Land on the note. Don't reach for it. That's what my old professor used to say.
Land on it.
Well, that was it.
That's it. We're not doing it now.